Welcome back, y'all. We are officially back in business. This is Truther Tuesday. Hope you guys are ready for a good show tonight because that is what I have for you. In fact, I have a cram-packed show. Cram-packed with psyops because each and every day now, they cram-pack our fake news with so many stories that no regular person can sift through all of it and get to the bottom of how fake it all really is. And if you're someone who knows that it's fake, they have so many damn psyops that by the time you get to the bottom of one psyop and you're ready to explain it to someone, they've got 4 or 5 other ones that they just pulled off. So it's never ending. That's why I went with the title, The Psyops Are Non-Stop, because they are, man. They're freaking non-stop. So I got, let's see, the pride flag being flown at a Mets game during the national anthem. All right, we got the, what do we got? The Minnesota bang bang pow pow situation. We got that. All right, we got follow up on the No Kings protest. That's right, the No Kings people are going to do another protest next month, apparently. And they did a live stream. I haven't watched it yet, but I thought later in the stream we'll check that out. We'll see what the plans of the No Kings people is for next month. And let's see, we had one of our mods here, Rose, send me a clip, which was actually pretty funny. Some attack footage from overseas. So we'll check that out. All that and a whole lot more. But before we get started, we have some pre-show super chats that came in. Actually, we have one pre-show super chat from Zach W. Says, meaty bones for Ralph. You know what? Speaking of Ralph, we're going to go ahead and get Ralph out of the way, make his appearance right here, right now. That's right, Ralph. Meaty bones for you, Ralph. There he is. There's the big old baby. The big old baby now, huh? Yeah, he's a good Ralph. Yeah, meaty bones for the Ralph puppy, huh? Look at that boy. It's a big boy now. He's like probably 30 pounds now. Just a really good looking specimen. There you go. He's sitting back here on a chair watching the show. See? I have a chair set up for him. He's just chilling. He's a good boy. All right. So with that said, get to the next super chat, which is the first official super chat since the show started, from Lint Away Duct Cleaning, best damn air duct cleaning service this side of the Mississippi. And he says, Jake the Legend. Thank you very much. Lint Away Duct Cleaning, best damn air duct cleaning this side of the Mississippi. And no, he didn't pay me to say that. Or did he? Just kidding. Or am I? All right. I love saying that. It's one of my repeated jokes every time he sends me a super chat. All right. Sunflower says he looks like Snoopy. Well, apparently Snoopy was a beagle, but Snoopy was only black and white, whereas Ralph is brown and black and a little bit white. All right. So, got a cram-packed show tonight. Should be good. And I started going down the Minnesota bang bang psyop rabbit hole. And I kept finding more and more stuff and more stuff. I'm like, holy shit. There's a lot of evidence to show my people. The thing is, they have another psyop and another psyop like every day to where like I don't like to spend too much time gathering this massive pile of evidence for one little psychological operation, because by the next next week, it's irrelevant. And then, we're on to the next one. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't treat every event like Nandy Snook, So every time there's like a mass bang bang situation, it's like I start going into detective mode. And after a few hours, I've got all this evidence compiled, and it's like, fuck, there'll be another one of these things within another couple days, and everyone will have basically forgot about this one. So it never ends. It never ends, man. Simone says, hi, Jake, Ralphie, and good people. Hi, Jake, Ralphie, and good people indeed. That's right. Decran4D saying hi to Simone. David Koresh saying hi to Simone. Lots of good people. We're going to have some fun tonight. And you know what? To get us started, just to make it special for you guys, I thought tonight we would start the show with a little bit of "Was up? Was up? There you go. We did it. We officially started the show. Whew. Might need a nap after that one. Sheesh. All right. Uh-oh. Got a troll in the chat. Going bye-bye. All right. All right. Oh. Look, if I do stuff that's funny, and you start trying to just call me names, I'll just delete your comment. And then if you continue, then I'll ban you. Because what I do here is I make a lot of people happy. And then there's always a handful of dipshits who aren't happy. And they want to come here and try to make everyone else unhappy. Here's the deal. If I'm making like 95% of the people here happy, then there's 5% loser-ass bitches who want to try and ruin the experience. Just get fucked and get gone. I'm thinking I might just start doing, on occasion, members-only live streams so that no little bitch-ass trolls will show up unless they pay to show up for a membership. Yeah. So I might start doing membership-only live streams where I have secret, special membership-only streams and only members are allowed. And if members are the only ones, then it'll be a much more tight-knit group. Then I might be more inclined to have open panel streams where I let my members come on and hang out with me on screen. So, coming soon, members only live streams. Not every stream's going to be a members only stream, but there's going to be some members only streams. And I'm going to bring back the picks, but that's going to be for members only too. Yeah. Lots of stuff going to happen here. That's right. And then I'm going to find other awesome things to make members only. That way the hardcores get the premium content. The hardcores get to hang out with me in the members only streams and have a one-on-one experience. While the trolls, they probably won't want to do that. All right. So here we go. We got Lemming in a shiny metal box coming in. Says, Sir Jake, sorry I missed your impromptu stream this past Saturday. Was out on the water. Looking forward to the stream this evening. You know, I saw all the people that were live streaming the protests, and they had like tons of live viewers. And I hadn't put out like any sort of, message or anything to you guys that I was going to do a live stream, but I thought, I'll just quickly throw together the live stream and I'll just start streaming, and people who see it will see it. So I gave it a go. Some people saw it. Some people missed it, but it turned out the No Kings protests were a bit of a nothing burger. So I would say the best thing that happened in the last live stream was me doing some funny impressions. So if you sift through, the funniest stuff is just me fucking around, because the No Kings protests were total nothing burgers. Nothing crazy happened. Hardly any rioting. Mostly all waste of time protesting, where people just like walked around for an hour or two and then waved their sign and chanted and then got bored, went home. So yeah, the stream was a bit uneventful because nothing crazy popped off. But there was a few points where like I did some good impressions. I even went back and made myself chuckle a few times. All right, so thank you, Lemming in a shiny metal box. All right, and I had one more super chat, and then we'll go ahead and get the party started. And we'll start showing some video clips. Timothy with a super chat. Timothy, all right. Thank you very much, Timothy. No message attached, but a super chat nonetheless. I definitely appreciate it. Killer. All right. I'm excited for this one. Sometimes you guys, like, I have to try and scrape together an idea because I'm not sure, like, what to talk about. Whereas tonight, I've got, like, 4 different subjects that are all different that I can totally go off. So let's start with the pride flag at the Mets game, because that's like something quick and easy we can knock out. And then we'll move on to like the Minnesota bang, bang, pow, pow situation. And another super chat coming in from Timothy says, Yo, Jake, what's up? Can you do the Land on the Moon song tonight? Timothy, since you donated twice in a very short amount of time, and since we're kicking off what's going to be an awesome stream just for you, right here, right now. Land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. Hey, take the rover, we go to the moon. Didn't you know that we come back soon? We rove to the left, we rove to the right. In beach, you know that we rove all night. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. Yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We take the rover, we go to the moon, and then you know that we come back soon. We rove up atop, we rove down low, we rove so much we got no place to rove. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We take the and we to the moon, and then you that way back. Rove to the top, rove down low, rove so much and we never take it slow. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, we tick it over, we go to the moon. Then you know that we come back soon. Rove to the north, rove to the south, rove right inside your motherfucking mouth. Land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, gonna come back soon. Say, row, row, row. Come on now, row, row, row. Everybody say, row, row, row. Everybody now, row, row, row. Oh, come on now, row, 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 rover, row, 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 rover. Row, 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 rover, row, 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 rover. All right, there you go. Live Land on the Moon action for you. Coming in from Timothy. All right. Little action there for you. Action Jackson, satisfaction. And it looks like we have, I think, our first new member, Jana. I make it very affordable, you guys. $1.99, as in $2. That's how much it costs to be a member. And there's one tier, only one tier. $1.99 a month. What does that get you? You're going to have access to the secret live streams. Well, they're not going to be a secret. They're just going to be for members only. So none of the trolls are going to pay to be a member. So none of the trolls will be there. So that means in the members only streams, it'll be like a hangout and we can just chill, goof off. I can bring you guys on the panel and I know I'm talking with only members, right? So I'll still do the regular streams, Tuesday streams like usual, but then a few times a month, I'll do like members only secret stream. And then I'm also thinking I'm going to do some premium videos like my picks. Come football season, I'm thinking I'll bring back the picks, but for members only. And I'm only going to strategically pick my 3 favorite games instead of all the games. Had some people say, Jake, please bring back the picks. You don't have to pick all the games. Just pick like a couple games. And I thought, you know what? If I don't have to pick all the games and I can just only pick a few each week, like 2 to 3 games each week, perhaps we can stick it to the NFL and I can get some members to jump on just for the picks. So I see some win-win situations with the memberships. So we're definitely going to be doing membership stuff. You know, there's people who love this channel, and those are the people who I'm going to take care of. And then there's people who casually watch or want to show up and troll me or some shit. Well, they're going to miss the premium content. Getting a weird text from some crap right now interrupting me. All right. Interactive Natural Medicine says Air India plane was a hoax. No way that cat lived through the massive fireball. He was walking unscathed afterwards. No way. I honestly, that was a story that I have on the back burner because there's like so many things that went down. So I was like gathering pieces to the Minnesota shit. And then I was trying to figure out a few other things to talk about tonight. And that was one of them was the India thing. But since it's a few days old, I thought I'd just say whatever to that. Just another random plane thing. You know, there's going to be another plane go down probably by next week or the week after. So I'll just catch the next one. See what I'm saying? Why spend too much time on one psyop or the other when next week there's going to be 3, 4, 5, 8 more? The next plane that goes down here in the United States, I'll talk about that. But yes, you're correct. From what little I have heard about it, sounds like a total hoax. All right. Who else did I? All right. I'm going to go through and give a shout out to these members here in just a second once I get caught up on the super chats. All right. Simone and N1 Ballers. All right. Simone says, the Indian impression of the 49ers fan was hilarious. Also, may I get a YMCA Trump song? Me and Shabir, we cannot wait for the next NFL season because we know that the 49ers are the team that is going to win the Super Bowl, my friend. And we know this because they built a new stadium in Santa Clara, and the 49ers have lost the last 3 Super Bowls, my friend, that they have been in. There is no fucking way they're going to let the 49ers lose 4 Super Bowl in a row, my friend. That means the next Super Bowl that the 49ers go to, they're fucking for sure going to win. I do not care who they are playing. I do not care if they are playing the Chiefs again with the Patrick Mahomes and the Andy Reid and all of that shit, you know. Let me tell you. No way is the NFL going to let the 49ers lose a 4 Super Bowl in a row, my friend. There you go. And of course, because Simone, it's her favorite song, we got to cap this off. We got to cap it off one time for the Orange Man. Do. Everybody now, sing it with me. YMCA. My favorite freaking song is YMCA. Yay. It's Simone's favorite song, and it's your favorite song. So let's hang out with all the boys. Young men, you know that I love young men. So let's go there to the YMCA. It makes me happy when I do my little dance. So I think I'll go down to the yeah, everybody now, YMCA. My favorite song is freaking YMCA, yay, because they've got young men there. It's a hell of a time, and quite frankly, I like how I feel. There you go. Double dose for Simone. 49ers Indian fan. Trump YMCA song. Wow. What a show. And we haven't even got started yet. Cactus Jack has become a new member. Cactus Jack, I missed your super chat at the end of the last live stream. You asked me to tell a funny joke. And I said, all right, guys, good night. And I shut off the stream. And then your super chat came in just after I shut down the stream. And you asked me, very simple, tell a funny joke. So Cactus Jack, I'm going to hook you up since I missed your super chat. And because you just became a new member, I'm going to tell a funny joke just for you right here, right now. Chris Brown's in the news. Chris Brown. You guys remember Chris Brown? Yeah, he's back in the news. Apparently, Chris Brown got a new tattoo. Yeah, he got a new tattoo of Rihanna on his dick. So now he can beat her anytime he wants. Woo! Hey-yo! Woo! All right. There you go. Cactus Jack. There you are. ZZ Tib just became a member. Timothy says, how do you become a member? So you go to my page, and then where it says join, or it might even be here on the screen somewhere where it says join. And then it's $2. Well, $1.99. And then you provide your payment information, and bam, you're then a member. Trout fishing at Hood Park, now a member. Will, now a member. All right. Good times. Suzette Ann, member. Zach W, member. Lemming in a shiny metal box. Spooky. Pop Fried 420. You guys, when I do the members only live streams, we can just throw out all the fake news and just hang out. You guys can come on, ask me whatever you want. We can just goof off, all that stuff. So my members only streams, I'll make it real personal so that everybody gets to talk to me and hang out with me. That way it's not like 500 motherfuckers and, you know, me trying to talk about the fake news while 10 idiots in the chat are calling me a retard. All right. Capture This says, I have it all figured out. The super chat thing was having issues last few lives. Some people have issues sending me super chats. They'll be sending me a super chat one after the other, and then they'll say that they're getting a message that they can't send it. Sometimes it comes down to what you're typing. Sometimes like they want to censor what you're saying. So it can sometimes be some issue where like maybe they're thinking that you're sending too much or you're trying to like say something they don't like. I don't know. I can't tell you because I've never had the issues myself, but I have had reports here on the channel of people who've given multiple super chats where it'll like not let them for whatever reason. So in that case, I tell people try and use a different channel or like sign out and come back in real quick, try some tricks like that. All right. Thank you, Capture This, for this super chat, brother. Much love. Dale Hess says, I don't know if I can afford to be a member. I don't think I have $1.99. That's like 7 cents a day. That's pretty funny. Yeah, you send me a super chat, which is basically like about the cost of the entire year. Yeah. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate it, buddy. Now, I just figure, if everyone's a member, it'll keep the trolls out. And then if I do members only live stream, then it'll be a smaller crowd. And then we can do like open panel stuff. And then I can bring people up without having to worry about trolls and losers showing up trying to like talk shit and say some weird shit. All right. Dale Hess. All right. I think we're about caught up on super chats. Nope. N1 Ballers. I missed one from N1 Ballers. My bad. N1 Baller says, is the war in the Middle East also planned and scripted? Yes. So I'm going to show footage later that Rose sent me. Rose right here from the chat, my moderator. She sent me a video and it has like some funny staged looking footage of attacks over in the Middle East. So I usually don't cover like war over in other countries because I live in America and there's plenty of fake news here. And so I cater to mainly American audience. And then I have my European audience and my Canadian audience. But basically, I stick to issues here happening around America. And so like, war in Ukraine and Israel and stuff like that. Like I don't focus on it as much. But tonight I do have a clip for you that sent in by Rose that we might get a few laughs out of. So I'm Rigged says, dude, you brought up the greatest point about these protests that no one is talking about. Shouldn't the illegals be holding up American flags? Bro, I got one for you. I got one that's going to totally hit the spot for you right now, my homie. Check this out. Check this out.
So let me get this straight, just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico.
What are the chances that this Mexican cholo with tats is going to say something intelligent? What are the chances? Let's be honest.
But you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Do better. So let me get this straight, just so I could clarify.
Holy shit, my brown brother. I totally agree. This Mexican cholo with these ugly tattoos is totally fucking right, man. Amen, my cholo brother. Holy shit. Wasn't expecting that. I bet you weren't either. Did that just happen? Wait a minute. Maybe I have white racist wax up in my ears. Did he say what I think he just said?
You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. But you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Holy shit. And guess what, you guys? Only 7 likes and 1 comment. This video didn't go viral, and it got buried. But I found it. What do you think of that? Caught you off guard with that shit, huh? All right. So I'm rigged. Thank you for the donation. Turns out there's at least one other dude talking about what I was saying. Surprisingly, you wouldn't expect it from him. I didn't. Holy shit. Timothy says that Mexican guy is AI. Well, then fuck, dude. That AI is telling me what I want to hear. Well, then I guess I'm a fan of AI now. As long as AI is making cholos that are speaking my language, well, I'm cool with that, man. I guess that's the good kind of AI, right? The kind of AI a man can get behind. Trout Fishing at Hood Park says, you're well worth a higher fee. Oh, it's going to be fun. Dude, the members only streams. I'm already having some ideas, like a late night members only stream. And then like, Saturday morning, members only stream for European people that don't usually get to see my streams. I want to hook people up but I don't want to always have to come up with like 4 or 5 fucking ideas for every single show. So sometimes I just want to go live and goof off, answer questions, and just stream. Just be a talented guy who streams. And I think if I did membership only, that would be the way to do it. So if we did membership only, instead of doing like a 3-hour stream, we could do like a 2-hour stream where I just goof off and do whatever you guys want, talk about whatever you guys want, and then do open panel and let you guys come on. And then I can rest assured knowing that like it's members only who are hanging out, you know, getting what they want rather than fucking hater ass trolls. All right. Got more new members coming in. Good times, good times. And it looks like Simone has a super chat, maybe another comedic request. She says, Arnold Schwarzenegger was on The View. He said it perfectly. If you want to look at the video, they asked him about ICE as he is an immigrant like me, but we both are legal. You know what? I haven't heard that Schwartz was over on The View. That actually sounds like something that if I watched, I could probably make up something funny on the spot. So before I go right into my Arnold impression, why don't we go ahead and see what she's talking about? Because now you have me curious. Arnold Schwarzenegger on The View. It's the first video that pops up. I just typed in AR and then it went bam, Arnold Schwarzenegger. First fucking video that pops up, you guys. No joke. Check this out. So Simone was talking about this video, and I just typed in AR, and then it went bam, Schwarzenegger. Boom, first video. So they definitely want us to watch this, or AI was totally listening and had this video all ready for us.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is back in action on the second season of his Netflix series Fubar, where he's taking one of his team of CIA operatives after their cover is blown. Talking to him. Take a look.
All right, I'm out of here.
Whoa, where do you think you're going?
See Dot alone.
Like hell you are.
What? Boss, we got to be there to watch your 6.
And your 12, and all the other numbers. There are risks out there. There's no reason for all of us to take them. Besides, Tally and Carter need protection. And Donnie? I guess.
To sit here with 5 gorgeous women. And
I am going to sit here with 5 gorgeous women. You're the bestest looking women that I have ever seen. I have been with many women all over the world. I was a movie star. 2 women that are practically throwing themselves at me. There was a time when I was as popular as the Beatles. And let me tell you, there are more beautiful women here than any of the beautiful women in the world.
the only guy out here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it
There's a
happens.
few.
Whoopi Goldberg is one of the most beautiful women in the entire universe. It doesn't matter if you were to go to Mars, if you were to go to the next galaxy, you would not be able to find another beautiful woman as Whoopi Goldberg.
Out there doing it. But let's be honest, there's a few guys all pumped up. I don't know what they do. They do some push-ups or something like that. That's good, but it's great to be back here again. It's great. I mean, you know how this came about. I mean,
You can tell them.
we have to tell them. I said because Whoopi and I, we go to a Planet Hollywood opening every 30 years. But the last one was like in the 90s.
Yeah.
And
I have to tell you something. You have to get down to the chopper so I can tell you something. Me and Whoopi, we're doing this thing, and that's why we have to tell you about this thing. Me and Whoopi, we was at the Planet Hollywood. We both come from Hollywood. We both talk about how the Earth is a planet, and that is why we went to the Planet Hollywood. It makes perfect sense. And it was back in the 90s when we were very much influential, and we were very much doing what we do at the Planet Hollywood. And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you right now.
then and now again, just literally like a few months ago. And so we were, of course, having a good time because we are good friends and we always had so much fun together.
Yeah.
Every time we would hang out because we are such good friends and she is such a beautiful woman, we would always have the time of our life. We would have so much fun because we are such great friends.
And so we were schmoozing. And then I said to her, you know, I miss being on your show.
Oh.
I say, when I promote Fubar #2, I'm going to come on your show. She didn't even ask me if I want to come, right? I said, I have to be on your show. And she says, oh, please come back. And here we are.
And here you
And
are.
yeah,
I
I was-
The Terminator! Fucking Terminator, man. All right. Gage P says, congratulations on the success of the channel. Been a viewer for many years and happy to see you have a great audience. Can't wait for picks. Hey, well, let's just hope that I do good. So I'm going to strategically try and pick like 3 games per week. So instead of like being forced to pick the crappy Thursday game where I can't figure out which team's going to win and then me getting it wrong and getting all pissed off, I'm just going to key in on the 2 or 3 games that look like traps. And if I key in on the spreads that don't make sense and just pick those ones, I should be able to keep a positive record. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. And maybe even make a few bucks sticking it to the NFL. And if it doesn't go good, then I'll just quit like I did last time. No harm, no foul, right? All right. Thanks, Gage. All right. Did I catch up on all the super chats? All right.
Well, we are thrilled to have you back, and we will get to your new show, but I do want to ask you a little bit of politics.
What is this, schnapps?
Oh, the second got my cup.
I didn't know you guys are drinking alcohol.
We were schmoozing and we were drinking a schnapps with the most beautiful women in the world. They put in the schnapps and then we were schmoozing. And then I said that we were schmoozing and then they agreed. And then when I said, did you put the schnapps? And then they laughed. But I was the one who was drinking it. And let me tell you, there was definitely the schnapps.
Alcohol, yeah.
As the former governor of California, my home state, California's been in the headlines. Obviously, there have been these huge protests of President Trump's immigration policies. He threatened to potentially arrest Gavin Newsom if he didn't comply. If you were governor...
Well, Simone, it just so happens I've done Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions in the past. And so back when he told us to go out and get vaxxed and said, screw your freedom, I lambasted him with a very snarky impression.
Screw your freedom. I want you to get pumped up. I want you to take a chemical concoction. I recommend you go get the booster. I want you to get pumped up right now. If you don't get pumped up, then screw your freedom, right?
So I went off on Arnold. So basically, anytime I see Arnold, it's like I have to do my Arnold impression. So you opened up this can of worms without knowing it.
Right now of California, how would you be handling the ongoing crisis that the state's facing?
This is the part that you probably want me to watch right here. Here we go.
Well, I think the most important thing is when you are in a leadership position like that, is that you are inclusive and that you work together with everybody. Mm-hmm. And so it means that you have to work together with local government, the state government, and the federal government. They have to work together rather than fighting each other. Mm-hmm. Fighting each other's agendas and all of that stuff, that doesn't do good to anybody. And so that's number one. Number two, the most important thing is to create immigration reform. Because all of this is happening because we don't have immigration reform. For decades now, this country has needed immigration reform, which means that we recognize the fact there's people in the south of America that want to come north to work, and that we therefore should supply them with enough visas so they can come, because we need those workers. So this is the bottom line, because then we would know who is here. We will be able to get rid of the criminal elements that are here and all of this stuff, so we wouldn't be in a mess that we're in right now. So this is my way of saying always, Democrats and Republicans have to come together and solve this issue if they really want to be public servants.
The Democrats and the Republicans, they need to work together. The problem right now is the Democrats and the Republicans, they are not coming together. They are not working cohesively. They are not working cohesively in California with the cauliflower. So one of the things that they need to do, they need to come together. They need to bring the issues to the table. They need to have one table. They need to sit at the table together. They need to come to an agreement. To do immigration reform. One of the reasons why immigration is not reformed is because immigration needs to be reformed. And the only way that it is going to happen is if the government do come together with the people and they gather the blue and the red and to mix it, the blue and the red together. What does that make? It makes purple. You need purple is when you mix the red and you mix the blue and the Democrat and the Republican and they become one purple mountain majesty.
Yeah.
If they want to be party servants and be party hacks and be tied to their ideology, then it won't happen.
Yeah.
But if you want to make this country better And if you want to improve this country and improve the situation of people's lives and bring the prices down and all of this, you will go and serve the people of America. This is what it is. If you're a public servant, that's what you're supposed to do.
You know,
so that's what I would do if I'm governor.
Yes. But you were
What does your daddy do? Tell me who is your daddy and what does he do?
Kindergarten cop, everybody. I didn't know we were going to start the show with Arnie today, but we did. All right, little Arnie on The View, unexpectedly, which was fun because I haven't rolled out my Arnie impression in a few streams. So, all right. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started with the first official news story. Let me make sure I got all caught up on my super chats. Looks like I did. Finally, right? Okay. So I wanted to start with the Mets, the New York Mets baseball team, who are having a good season. They had Pride Night at the baseball park, and they flew the Pride flag during the national anthem on the big screen. And apparently a lot of the fans were not real happy by that situation. All right, so let's check out the... let's check out a news report about it, like an AI video, and then we'll watch the actual clip.
Instead of the New York Mets left baseball fans furious on Friday night after showing a pride flag on their big screen during a rendition of the U.S. national anthem. Prior to their game against the Tampa Bay Rays, the Mets controversially displayed the LGBTQ plus symbol instead of the American flag as the Star-Spangled Banner played out at Citi Field. Despite a number of teams getting involved in the annual Pride Month tradition in recent weeks, fans are threatening to boycott MLB over the divisive stunt that took place in New York. One user posted on X along with a video of the pride flag being shown at Citi Field during the anthem. The Mets showed a pride flag instead of the American flag during our national anthem. Boycott the MLB. MLB teams traditionally hold pride-themed events in June, with the Boston Red Sox also sparking controversy by staging a pre-game drag show earlier this week. Los Angeles Dodgers players also wore baseball caps with colors of the pride flag mixed into the team's logo on Saturday.
And some people might think, you know, like the team's management makes these decisions. No, they do not. You guys, these pro sports leagues, whether it's baseball, the NFL, the NBA, what have you, this is basically the equivalent of the Roman circus, bread and circuses. It's there to distract you and entertain you and also brainwash you. And they accomplish their agendas subtly, sometimes not as subtle, when they are blasting you at the pride flag. But it's basically as simple as, like, you're going to bring your kid to the ballpark for some good American fun. We're going to get you to pledge allegiance to the pride flag.
Although pitcher Clayton Kershaw made a slight tweak to his hat. Kershaw, who is a devout Christian, inscribed next to the LGBTQ plus inspired logo of Gen 9:12-16, which is a passage from the Bible that claims the rainbow was not created by God to represent that demographic. Instead, the passage reads, "And God said, this is the sign of the covenant that I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you."
I don't really like this AI video. So let me show the actual clip. It's only like 5 seconds. So they show the pride flag on the big screen during the national anthem. So it's not just Pride Night. They're doing the national anthem, and they do this during before every sporting event in the United States, basically. And commonly, people who think that they are patriots, they will stand and they will salute the flag with their right hand over their heart. They'll take their baseball cap and put it over their heart, right? So imagine you take your kid out, to the baseball game, and you just want to have a fun day at the baseball park, and you're not trying to hear any political messages or anything, and then they do the national anthem, and you go to pledge allegiance to the flag, and then they have the pride flag up there. And then little Jimmy asks, Daddy, what does that rainbow flag mean? Well, Jimmy, it means baseball is gay. What does that mean, Dad? It means that the people who run this world want you to be a flaming homo, Jimmy. Why? So that you don't start a tight-knit family of your own, Jimmy. Oh, that's pretty evil, Dad. I know. We probably shouldn't have came here. Let's go home, Jimmy. Okay, Dad. There you go. Pride Day at the ballpark, y'all. Imagine you show up to that, and then you're sitting there in your seat, agitated that you done showed up on Pride Day and had to witness that, and then the team loses. That was another thing I didn't like about going to pro sports games, was like, if the team loses, then it's just not very fun. So I've went to watch the San Francisco Giants back when I was a sheep, back when I used to root for sports, and I've seen them win. It's fun, but then when you go and they get their ass kicked, it's not very fun. So imagine you go and it's Pride Night and you didn't know beforehand. You just bought a ticket and showed up, and then that happens and you're like, oh, fuck, great, right? Showed up on Pride Night, had no idea, right? And then what if the team then gets their ass kicked? So then on Pride Night, you're sitting there in the ballpark watching your team lose. Such a soul harvest, if you think about it. Such a gaslighting soul harvest. So, in a nutshell, it's the Roman circus, and they get you to salute the homo flag in an ultimate form of gaslighting, right? All the real patriots stand up and salute the homo flag, you flamers. Oh, say, can you see by the pride flag on TV what so proudly we hailed at Pride Night at Citi Field? And the flamers were flaming, and the queens, they wore drag, and the whole thing was gay, and then the Mets fucking lost. All right. Good times, right? And one baller says, Jesus made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, or even Evelyn. Bro, did you come up with that yourself? I've never heard of anything like that ever in my life. You must be some sort of visionary. Man, and one baller's coming in with some comedic wizardry. Adam and Steve. Simone says, learn this week that Elon has a son that is a transformer. Had no idea. I didn't know he had 15 kids until like earlier this year. I never knew that. That's just something I never knew. See, I'll tell you all about how these people are fake and phony and actors and putting on a show, reading a script, but like sometimes like little details about their family members and this, that, or the other, like I don't keep up on it. So when I first heard Elon had 15 kids, I didn't even know that. So yeah, learn something new every day about these fake ass people who aren't what they say they are. Not shocked at all, right? Bo Perkins says they should do this for NFL. Fits their audience. Oh, Pride Night. Well, in the NFL, they do those statements like in the back of the end zone, like end racism, stuff like that. You know, we're all in this together. So the NFL puts their woke statements in the end zone. Oh, and the NFL made their players wear pink for breast cancer awareness, because nobody's aware of breast cancer until you watch a bunch of 300-pound football players wearing pink on the field. So there would be guys like wearing, you know, pink pads and pink socks and pink shoes and shit. And I was one of the only dudes saying, like, okay, back when I was, and they were doing this back when I was a fan, before I was like even awake. I was like, what's with the pink shit? It's for breast cancer awareness, dude. Yeah, but I already know about breast cancer and like, we don't need to see that on TV on the football player. So that bothered me even before I knew what was going on with it. Back when I was just a fan, that would piss me off to see like my football team wearing pink. Whereas now I get it. Now I totally understand why they did it. Makes perfect sense why they had them boys demasculated, wearing pink, forcing it down the fan's throat in the name of titty cancer awareness. All right. So there you go. Pride Night at the ballpark. You know, baseball was considered at one time the most popular sport in America. It isn't now, but at one point it was considered America's pastime. And all the little boys on the block wanted to grow up and be like Mickey Mantle and shit like that, right? All the kids dreamed about being baseball players, you know? And so to some people, you know, baseball still is that. There's still this like historic old school thing about baseball that people really like and enjoy. But man, that's like an ultimate gaslighting slap in the face there. Show up to the ballpark and they've got the rainbow flag on the screen. Then your son's going to tug on your shirt and be like, Daddy, what does that mean? Then you've got to come up with some shit to tell Junior. That'd be the last time I took Junior to the ballpark. I would never take Junior to the ballpark to begin with. It's a waste of fucking money, but. All right. Let's get to our next story. We'll get to the let's get to the Minnesota bang bang pow pow dealio. I found quite a bit of evidence for this one. So let's start knocking it down systematically. All right. What was I going to start with? The CBS News Report. CBS News Report to kick it off.
Our top story as we begin the week: that man accused of shooting 2 Minnesota state lawmakers and their significant others is under arrest. He's due in court this afternoon. This picture shows the moment Vance Belter's arrest. In a post on Facebook, the local sheriff's office called him the face of evil. And a newly unsealed arrest warrant revealed police found at least 3 AK-47 assault rifles and 9
3 AK-47s, y'all. Look, 3, 9, right? 3, 9. You flip that upside down. You got your 3, 6, 6, 6, 6. It's just funny the numbers that they just happen to use. And Bo Perkins, who is legendary for talking about how he smashed his roommate's television because the guy was a ignorant Falcons fan who refused to listen that the NFL is fake. So Bo says, update on my battle against rigged NFL. Broke relations with another friend because he wouldn't listen. Raiders fan. Called him a pussy to his face. So Bo here likes to document and let everybody know how he will destroy the property of an NFL fan if they refuse to listen to the truth that the NFL is fake and scripted. So Bo here, You know, he made his mark by smashing his roommate's television, getting kicked out of his place, and then telling the story here on my channel. And now he's lost another friend, a Raiders fan. You know what? If he's a Raiders fan, an actual diehard Raiders fan, he's probably not worth being friends with to begin with, man. I mean, what idiot is going to follow a team like the Raiders after all these years of misery? When was the last time the Raiders were in a Super Bowl? Jeez, a long, long time ago. All right. Thanks, Bo. You are a legend. I hope you continue having issues with other friends who like the NFL and then making them former friends, and then send me super chats and tell me all about it.
9mm handgun, plus a list of names and addresses of other public officials in the suspect's vehicle. Now, Belter's roommate is telling CBS News the suspect is a Christian who went to church every Sunday. That roommate also said Belter listens to the conspiracy theory platform InfoWars and, quote, he liked Trump.
Whoa! He's a Christian, y'all. Listens to InfoWars and likes Trump. You guys, we're like 40 seconds into the news report, and they've already been like, the suspect killed some lawmakers, and we found 3 AK-47s at his house. And he's a Christian who likes to listen to InfoWars, and he likes Trump. They just make it too easy on us, you guys. But, you know, to your average sheeple, it makes perfect sense that this wacko did what he did. He's one of those crazy Christians who watches Alex Jones and likes Trump. That's how all Trump supporters are, right? Don't you guys out there who consider yourself Christians love when you see a report like this about how this crazy murderous Christian likes to listen to InfoWars and likes Donald Trump? Yeah. We're going to get to his roommate here later on.
And while the investigation is ongoing, friends, loved ones, and constituents are all mourning the loss of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark. U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar shared her thoughts on Hortman with CBS News Minnesota.
Somehow balancing 2 little kids, being a Girl Scout leader, being a Sunday school teacher, her dogs, and then maybe all that juggling made her such a powerful speaker.
CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano joins us now from Minneapolis with more on all of this. Lilia, I know that you've been reporting there on how the capture unfolded for a while now. How are people reacting to the violence and the arrest?
Well, Errol, there were these mixed feelings of shock, horror, fear, because the suspect was at large, and grief. Now there is a lot of grief for these beloved lawmakers, for the beloved lawmaker who passed, and of course, relief that this man was caught.
Bo says that the guy who he's not friends with, that he went to anti-ICE protests, not worthy of friendship. Anyone who goes to a No Kings protests, anti-ICE protests, yeah, they're a moron, not worthy of any friendship whatsoever. In fact, they deserve to be depressed and alone forever. Good call, Bo. Totally agree, my brother.
Within 43 hours of this, what they're calling authorities, the largest manhunt in the state's history. There's also surprise that the suspect was caught unharmed, that neither police nor the suspect were hurt. While police encircled him for about an hour and a half, they said that they used video from trail cameras, from neighbors. They found him thanks to tips from.
Another open and shut case where they know everything about the guy and they're telling us everything within 48 hours. No chance that he's working with 2-3 other guys who might keep doing stuff. Nope. Just the one guy. They already got his AK-47s. They have all the reasons and motivation why he did it. Open and shut case. Let's go ahead and tell the people about it so we can make sure that they're educated and informed. You know how the mainstream media loves to keep us educated and informed. They don't want us, you know, unaware of the details, not knowing what's really happening in the world. So they want to make sure we are as intelligent as possible by giving us all of the details as quickly as they learn them.
Residents, apparently somebody saw him fleeing the car that was found yesterday abandoned near a highway there in Sybil County, near an area where he owns some property, that they used aircraft that had infrared cameras, and that helped in detecting exactly where he was. But the fact that he surrendered and nobody was harmed, I think was a big surprise given that he was armed at the time.
And I know for many people, they're wondering, who was this man? Why did he do such a violent thing that he's alleged to have done? And I know you spoke to a friend of the suspect. What did you uncover there?
Okay, guys, a right-winger who's Christian and likes Trump, he kills lawmakers from the left. Because everybody knows if somebody on the left makes a law that you don't like, and then you kill them, well, that law doesn't go into effect. So, anytime any lefty lib is about to make a law that you don't like, well, if you can quickly kill them before they make that law, then you never have to worry about those pesky liberals creating any new laws that you don't like. So I can understand why he did what he did. Those libs were going to make laws that he did not like. So he stopped them from doing it. So if you're a Christian who listens to InfoWars and you like Trump, then you are probably on his side and you support what he did. Right? Because you have to pick a side. You're either on the left or the right. There is no in between. You're not allowed to say that the whole thing's a big fucking joke, dog and pony show, like the guy with the stupid hat. No, you have to pick a side. So, are you on the side of the crazy right-winger who listens to InfoWars, who shooted the lawmakers? Or are you on the side of the lib lawmakers? You must make a decision. Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. I like it. I love it. I would like some more of it. But before that happens, we're going to need to do what David D. LaFleur says. 400 plus people up in this chizat. Hit the thumbs up button right now. You guys, we're only getting started. I got some good videos to show you. I'm going to blow open this whole Minnesota bang bang pow pow situation. I'm about to blow it open real fast. But before we do, hook a brother up with a thumbs up if you're having fun. Let me see how many thumbs up I got. On my end, I see 196. How about 250 thumbs up? That's a nice, modest goal. I'm going to hold us hostage until we get 250 thumbs up. Make it happen right here, right now. I know you can do it. 250 thumbs up. Thank you very much, Shady Davy D. You are the man. And check out Shady Davy D's channel as well. He has a YouTube channel of his own. Bo Perkins says, how do the sheep not see Alex has been replaced? Sheep don't fucking believe that celebrities can be replaced. They only believe that they lost weight, got older, and got plastic surgery. That's all they need as an excuse. He lost weight, he got older, plastic surgery. They never believe that someone can get replaced. That's just not even an avenue that their brain can even go down. And if you suggest something like that to them, a celebrity being replaced, somebody wearing a hyper-realistic mask and playing the role of Alex Jones, who isn't the original, they'll just scoff. They'll laugh at you and act as if that sort of thing is just fairy tale stuff you would see in a Hollywood movie, but not in real life. Simone says, sorry to interrupt the show, but a friend of mine would like to hear Land on the Moon again. All right. If anyone missed Land on the Moon the first time around, since Simone donates a lot and she's very generous and she's got a friend who missed Land on the Moon, you're going to get Land on the Moon one more time right about now. Land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. Hey, take it over, we go to the moon, and then you know that we come back soon. We rove to the left, we rove to the right. In beach, you know that we rove all night. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We take it over, we rove to the moon. Then you know that we come back soon. We rove to the top, we rove down low. We rove so much we got no place to rove. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We take it over, we go to the moon. Then you know we're gonna come back soon. We rove to the north, rove to the south, we rove right up inside your fucking mouth. We land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon, land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. Rove, rove, rove for the second time. Rove, 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 encore. Rove, rove, rove for Simone. We're gonna rove, 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 and for her friend now. Rove, 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 rover. Row, 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 rover. Row. There you go. Whew. An encore edition of Land on the Moon. Just for Simone and her friend. And for anyone else. Woo! All right. Having some fun tonight. Let's get a check on how many thumbs up have come in. 240 thumbs up. Remember when I said I want 250 thumbs up? Yeah, so 10 of y'all need to quit holding out on me and hit the thumbs up right now. I'm going to hold the stream hostage until we get 250 thumbs up, you guys. All these people watching me, we all having a good time. Y'all going to leave me hanging without 250 thumbs up? Come on now. Come on now. You're holding out on your boy. And I see one more super chat that came in. I'm going to go rustle that up. Right here from DVO. Says, did Iran do their thing yet? You know, that thing the world will remember for century. I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't think they have. Because if they have, maybe I would know what you're talking about. So I'm going to guess no that they didn't. But I'm not sure. So I can't say. Thanks, DVO. Maybe someone else in chat can answer your question. All right. Did we get to 250 thumbs up yet? We did. We made it. 273 thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I dig it. Jamel Nutt coming in with a donation. No message attached, but a donation. Awesome. Totally dig it. Thank you, Jamel Nutt. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes Jamel don't. All right. John M. Gannon says, talk like Jaronism. Hey, guys. Jaron here. So I figured out that the moon landing was real. Yeah, I'm pretty embarrassed. I always thought that the moon landing was fake, but then I talked to Dave McKeegan, and he convinced me that the moon landing was real. You guys, just because Jake the asshole predicted that I was going to flip on the moon landing doesn't mean that he's honest. In fact, he's lying. The moon landing is real. You guys, I'm Jaron. I'm always honest. Okay? Flat Earthers, stop watching me. The Globe Earthers don't want to watch me. Nobody wants to watch me. And that means honesty has no place on YouTube. So now I got to go get a job. Trying to go get my old job back at CVS. But they don't want to hire me because I'm Jaron. You guys. That motherfucker flip-flopped on the moon landing, basically. just like I said he would. He did it in a 3-part series. So he did 3 hangouts with this globe cuck. And the first time around, he's like, okay, well, I'm open to the possibility of the moon landing being real. And then the second time he was like, well, you are kind of convincing me that it is real. I'm not sure that I can say it's fake. And then this last hangout that he did, he's basically flip-flopped to now saying that the moon landing's real. So they tried to do it subtly over the course of 3 streams rather than having him flip all of the sudden. As if that makes any difference. I said that he was going to fucking flip on the moon landing. I'm the only motherfucker who said, hey, Jaren's going to flip on the moon landing. Guaranteed. And then they were like, shit, Jake totally called it out, but that's what we have planned. So we have to go ahead and do it. You guys, I'm Jaren. I'm going to go ahead and flip on the moon landing because there's no evidence that the moon landing was fake. So therefore it's real, you guys. The moon's a rock. The moon is a gray rock, you guys. I'm Jaren. The moon's a gray rock. Oh, it's fun watching shills with their channel circle the toilet bowl. So fun to watch these shills go right on down the toilet bowl into the sewer of irrelevance where they fucking belong. Love it. Love it. There was a guy who tried to throw me under the bus, end my time here on YouTube, get everyone to hate me. And his channel is literally dead now with no chance of ever becoming popular again. It's fucking awesome. He'll never have a crowd like this ever again. Mwah! I love it. Jamel says, I'm a black guy that's been a fan for years. Awesome. I knew there were some cool black dudes out there that appreciate my humor and don't think that I'm a racist-ass cracker. The black guys who are smart and hip to my sort of humor, they get it. Whereas a black dude who still falls for the right-left paradigm, still falls for the woke shit, will tell me that, I'm racist for the things that I say about, the anti-ICE protests because I don't have a family member who's being deported currently. Thank you very much, Jamel, my black brother. Word up to your mother. All right.
I spoke to a friend and a roommate he was living with during weekdays who had spoken with him on Friday. He was telling me that, look, this is a person who wasn't constantly advocating for politics, but that he was very conservative. I asked him specifically, did he listen to any podcasts? And he told me he listened to InfoWars, the Alex Jones podcast, that he warned him himself, a lot of that is not true. He said that he was a born-again Christian, as you said there at the top. He said that he cared a lot about abortion back in the day when he first became a born-again Christian, but that he didn't talk about it a whole lot. Here's a little bit more about what he told us yesterday.
I was a Trump supporter, voted for Trump. You like Trump? I like Trump.
He's a Trump supporter, voted for Trump. He likes Trump. I like Trump. You got to say Trump fucking 6 times in the matter of 10 seconds to really get the point across. This guy liked Trump.
Nobody's happy with the government. Everybody.
So this is his roommate, and you guys, look at the face. After your roommate gets gunned down, you're going to do this interview where you laugh all goofy like this, right? Of course you're going to do an interview right after your roommate gets gunned down.
Everybody's happy, not happy what this politician does or that politician does, but you don't go on a shooting spree. It's just, that's why I hate even talking about it, because it's so crazy.
Governor Tim Walz, Errol, talked about political violence yesterday and urged people to reach out to their neighbors, to debate.
You know what radicalized him, you guys? I think it was because he was eating my neighbor's ass. You know what happened? He ate some of my lefty liberal neighbor's ass, and it turned him into a total radical libtard is what happened. He was radicalized by AJ, you guys. Folks, I never radicalized anyone in my life. In fact, I have been known to make folks a lot more intelligent. If you start listening to me, your IQ goes shooting up immediately. So they're trying to blame what this guy did and say that he was watching my program. Folks, he did not watch my program. I have no idea who this guy is. They're using this as a cover story to demonize me. All right, everybody knows that I am a real patriot. I'm here to stand up and fight the freaking deep state. So they're making up these stories so that they can demonize me and demonize President Trump. Demonize Christians as a whole. We're not going to friggin' take it. So you know what we need to do, folks? You're going to need to order some of my lefty liberal neighbor's ass pills. That's right. I ground up my lefty liberal neighbor into a powder. I took some of my lefty liberal neighbor's ass cheeks and I grounded it up. And I made lefty liberal neighbor ass pill supplements. And I take at least 5 to 10 every day. Folks, if you take my neighbor's ass pill supplements, it's, of course, going to cure everything that was ever wrong with you. It's going to help with your male longevity. All right. Getting carried away here. So, yes, guys, AJ is the one who radicalized this guy. Made him a bad guy. Moment of silence for our rigged reality, Izzy Tech. Bo Perkins says he was happy to see his roommate demise like me. Yeah, we're going to watch a longer video clip of him later because he's kind of got like Gene Rosen vibes going on, if you know what I'm saying. Reality Witness says the roommate graduated. Bro, great minds think alike. It's funny how I just mentioned that name and then you just mentioned that name. I swear I didn't look ahead and read your super chat. We were both on the exact same page, thinking the exact same thing, bro. Totally. Took the words out of my mouth. I'm Riggs says, Aaron Haywood says you're the shooter's roommate. Planned the whole thing even. All right. As you know, I've bodied his Molly Roller, Jake, who also plays the role of Nick Johnson and a UK bare-knuckle boxer. He was also playing the role of this fella here, the roommate, the Minnesota shooter. He wasn't playing the role of the shooter, but he was playing the role of the shooter's roommate right here. Because he's a bloody multi-roller from down under. I already botted him. And he sent his subscribers over to troll me. So I turned off the comments. You're going to have to wake up pretty early in the morning if you're going to try and trick me, Jake. Or should I say Nick Johnson? All right.
To stop the violent rhetoric. And he honored the representative, the state representative, Melissa Hortman, who was killed, saying that's exactly what she did, that she reached across the aisle, and he urged Americans to do just that.
Yeah, really remarkable stuff, Lilia. We'll stay close to your reporting throughout the day. Thank you very much.
All right. Christians, trigger warning. Got any Christians in the house? Christians, be prepared to be triggered here.
And I'm just as excited about Jesus.
Et je suis juste excité
right
de
here,
Jésus.
right now.
Jusqu'à présent, même maintenant.
And when I get excited,
Et quand je suis excité,
I want to dance.
je veux danser.
And what Jesus did for me.
C'est que Jésus a fait pour moi. Jésus est
Almighty
Dieu.
God.
C'est le Dieu
He
puissant.
saved my life.
Il a sauvé ma vie.
I'm excited about God.
Je suis excité de Dieu.
And I want to worship Him.
Et c'est pourquoi je l'adore.
Because He's coming again. And
Jésus,
he's
il revient encore.
And He's got plans. He's got plans
de plans
and purposes
et le dessein
for each one of you
pour chacun de vous ici.
and for me.
Et pour moi aussi.
And I'm just as excited about Jesus.
Et
Y'all know who that is, right? Yeah, that's the boy, the Minnesota shooter. Vance Bolter gives sermon in Congo a few years ago. Y'all, I know a lot of y'all love some Jesus. Some of you guys here might consider yourself a Christian. Is this what you do to celebrate your Lord?
je suis juste excité
Right
de
here,
Jésus.
right now.
Jusqu'à présent, même maintenant.
And when I get excited,
Et quand je suis excité,
I want to dance.
je veux danser.
And what Jesus did for me.
C'est que Jésus a fait pour moi. Jésus est
Almighty
Dieu.
God.
C'est le
When you guys, give props to your Lord and Savior, Jesus, the one above, does it make you want to dance?
Et quand je suis excité,
I want to dance.
je veux.
Do you start doing a little dance like this guy here? I do a little dance like this guy here, but only when my subscribers send me super chats and want me to sing a silly song. But if there was no super chats instructing me to sing a silly song, I would have no reason to do a silly dance.
Danser.
And what Jesus did for me.
C'est que Jésus a fait pour moi.
Jesus is God.
Jésus est
Almighty
Dieu.
God.
C'est le Dieu
He
puissant.
saved my life.
Il a sauvé ma vie.
He went here to do this sermon for all these folks in the Congo, you guys. And this is the same guy who killed the lawmakers. How about that?
I'm excited about God.
Je suis excité de Dieu.
And I want to worship Him.
C'est pourquoi je l'adore.
Because He's coming again. And he's
Jésus
excited.
revient encore.
Because he's coming again.
And He's got plans. He's
Il
got
a
plans
de plans
and purposes
et le dessein
for each one of you.
pour chacun de vous ici.
And
Now, here's the deal, you guys. The sheeple at home are being told he's a right-winger who likes Trump, and he's a Christian. And then you go find that video clip. Those of us who know that the news is fake, this is severe gaslighting. It's like they make it as easy as possible to see that it's fake as fuck. But they also want to gaslight the living shit out of you if you know it's fake as fuck, especially if you were to call yourself a Christian. So if you have a special relationship with Jesus, I'm sure something like this probably makes you feel real happy that they're blaming people who worship your guy. And then the sheep are going to see this and they're going to be like, yeah, these fucking nut Christians who worship Jesus and Trump, this is what they go do. This is the way these people act. Man, these script writers, very clever, these script writers. What do you guys think? This is the guy that did the bang bang pow pow here. That's him. Just so happened there's this footage of him. All right. Now this next video news report has a few terms that I wasn't expecting to hear, and then when I did hear it, really started to get me fucking triggered. So now that we've seen this video, here's Inside Edition showing people at home this video and painting this guy out to be a huge whack job, so that any lefty liberals watching will be like, wow, Trumpers are such fucking crazy idiots.
when I get excited, I want to dance.
A stunning video of the accused assassin dancing. 57-year-old Lance Belter is preaching at a church in the Congo.
Before I get to this, looks like Bo Perkins says, "You are all my familia." It looks like he's checking out for tonight. And then he says, "Good night." All right, Bo, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the super chats, buddy. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Catch you in the next stream or video or whenever.
rousing sermon that couldn't be farther removed from the hatred police say fueled his shocking murder spree. This video has also surfaced of Belter claiming to work with law enforcement with a specialty in removing bodies from crime scenes.
We're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators at the location where a decedent is found.
So he's worked with law enforcement in the past, and he's given sermons in the Congo.
Be a crime scene or just a natural death.
Belter is charged with the murder of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and the attempted murder of State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. We're learning chilling new details of these shootings. The attempt to assassinate the Hoffmans was caught on home security video. A federal prosecutor said that video was the stuff of nightmares. He said the suspect pretended to be a cop and banged on the door, shining a flashlight on them. The senator opened the front door and quickly realized this was no cop.
When Senator Hoffman attempted to push Belter out and stop him from entering his home, Belter shot him repeatedly. Belter then shot Miss Hoffman repeatedly.
Just the way he's delivering this, so nonchalant.
Entering his home, Belter shot him repeatedly. Belter then shot Miss Hoffman repeatedly.
Belter then shot him repeatedly. Then he shot her. Then he shot everyone. Lots of dead people. Really sad. Okay? Any questions?
Belter fled the scene, and the Hoffman's daughter called 911.
Their 28-year-old daughter's life was saved by her heroic mom, who shielded her with her body. An hour later, cops almost captured Belter as he was about to murder the Hortmans.
When Belter saw the officers get out of the car, he drew his weapon and began firing. He rushed into the house through the front door, and when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark.
The shooter is still in the house. They believe barricaded with the firearm.
Before escaping, he shot and wounded the Hortman's dog, Gilbert, who had to be euthanized.
Killed the dog, too. What a bad guy. Look, you guys, it's Uncle Fester. No, it's Jeff Bezos.
Police say this image shows Belter dressed as a police officer and wearing a hyper-realistic latex Halloween mask.
What the fuck did you just say?
This image shows Belter dressed as a police officer and wearing a hyper-realistic latex Halloween mask. Here's
what in the fuck did you just fucking say? You better not have fucking said what I think you just fucking said.
This image shows Belter dressed as a police officer and wearing a hyper-realistic latex Halloween mask. Here's what the mask looks like in the light of day.
Hyper-realistic mask. Who do we know that talks about hyper-realistic masks? Who do we know talks about celebrities being replaced by imposters using hyper-realistic masks? Who do we know that talks about Joe Biden being played by an actor in a hyper-realistic mask? Yeah, I talk about hyper-realistic masks. And I don't point at examples that look like that. That is not an example of a hyper-realistic mask. So why in the flying fuck is the mainstream media saying hyper-realistic mask and then showing a fucking obvious fake Halloween mask that anyone can buy at a cheap-ass Halloween store for like $10, right? Gonna call that a hyper-realistic mask? It's almost as if they want to desensitize the public to that fucking word. Hyper-realistic mask. Because there's a fella, me, who tells people the truth about what the government does with the real hyper-realistic masks that actually fucking look hyper-realistic and not like a goddamn shitty Halloween mask. So why in the fuck are they using that word? Gonna keep the people from ever thinking about an actual hyper-realistic mask by giving them these examples of masks that are not hyper-realistic. You fucking asshole. Asshole MSMs. Inside Edition, you shitbags, you fuckers.
We tried it on. Cops recovered weapons and a hit list from Belter's SUV and a notebook listing websites and search engines he used to research his victims. After the murders, the FBI says Belter texted his family, warning them, "Dad went to war last night. There's going to be some people coming to the house armed and trigger happy, and I don't want you guys around." And this is the moment Belter surrendered to cops late last night after an hour-long siege near his home in rural Minnesota.
So there you have it. Open and shut case, you guys. Hyper-realistic mask. He was a Trump supporter and a right-winger and a Christian, and he hated the libs, and he wanted to keep the lawmakers from making laws. The end. Nothing more to see here, folks. Nothing more to see here. Let's move on to the next story. But first, I see some super chats that came in. So let me go ahead and get to those. Jamel Nut. All right, so pretty much anyone who knows about fake news, yeah, you don't need to spend a whole lot of time looking into this one. Once you see what I just showed you, like, what's the point of digging any further? Jamel Nutt says, truth has no race and funny is funny. Good work. Thank you, Jamel. And I totally agree. That's why I like, funny bits from old school comics, whether they're black or white. As long as the bit's funny and you can make me laugh, I don't care what race you are or what you're talking about. Humor should have no boundaries. Unless you're talking about like banging children, that's like the only boundary. Like if you're trying to do some sick Illuminati humor and you start talking about banging kids, that's where I draw the line. Like for instance, Louis C.K. did this part in his set where he threw up the 666s and then started doing a bit about like why child gropists like to grope childs. And that's when I stopped liking Louis C.K. Because there's no reason to make a bit like that unless you're in the club and you're told to do it. R.J. Cannon said, which U.S. president can you impersonate the best? Trump is my bread and butter, for sure. So, people have been sending me super chats asking me to do my Trump impression for years, and I've become known as doing one of the most colorful and wonderful Trump impersonations that anyone can possibly do. I mean, there's plenty of people who do Trump impersonations, but I'm the only one who will bring you Trumptricity, which of course is going to replace electricity. It's far superior than electricity in every sense of the word, and that's what I'm going to be bringing to all of your lovely homes. We're going to do away with electricity very soon. We're going to save billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. We're going to do away with the debt, and we're going to do it with Trumptricity. It's far meaner, leaner, greener, far superior than electricity in every way, shape, or form. It's truly what makes me the greatest president of all time. Obama, yeah, he has no clue how to do something as wonderful as implementing Trumptricity. He was too busy trying to get you to sign up for Obamacare. Whereas I'm going to be fixing the national debt when I implement Trumptricity. It's going to be no contest. You're going to remember me as the greatest president that there ever was, times infinity. There you go. I got another super chat coming in. From Dcran4D says that mask is not a real one. That's from Walmart. Yeah. So they showed like one of the shittiest examples of a fucking Halloween mask that anybody can go buy on any Halloween, and nobody would ever call that hyper realistic. And they specifically chose to call it hyper realistic. And it just so happens to be a guy who committed red rum on some lib lawmakers. And they're going to call that guy who impersonated a police officer with a Uncle Fester mask or whatever it was, an old guy mask. And they're going to call it hyper realistic, a term that I use specifically and that sheep don't ever hear hyper realistic used on television or anything, right? So the fact that they're exposing the sheep to the term hyper realistic mask, and then they're using an example of a mask that's not hyper realistic at all. Yeah, that shit is almost like it was designed just specifically to fucking gaslight the living shit out of me. And to dumb down the sheep for this term, hyper-realistic mask, if they ever hear about it in the future. RJ Cranston says, do Trump as Buzz Aldrin piloting Apollo 11 for the first time to the surface of the moon. NASA radio audio. Trump as Buzz Aldrin. We're getting ready to take our first steps on the moon, and quite frankly, I am very excited. As you know, I'm going to be the first president to ever walk on the moon, and I am the greatest president that there ever was, so I deserve it, and you deserve it. So here we go. I'm about to take my first step on the moon. This is one giant step for humanity, one even more giant step for Trumptricity, because as you know, we powered this rocket with nothing but Trumptricity to get here to the moon. We are redefining what it is to perform space travel. We no longer use rocket fuel. It's very wasteful. So we used Trumptricity to get here to the moon. And I'm about to take the first step, the first president to ever walk on the moon. Are you ready? That's the sound of me taking footsteps on the moon right now. Houston, quite frankly, this is the greatest day of my life. And this is also the greatest day of all of your lives collectively. God bless America, the greatest country that there ever was. And God bless NASA. God bless me, the first president to ever step on the moon. There you go. I've never done Trump landing on the moon before, so that was definitely a new one. There you go, RJ Cranston. Trump, first man to land on the moon. Now, the next thing we're going to do, now that I've officially taken my first steps on the moon, we're going to get in a new, revamped, remodeled version of the Luna buggy, the Luna module, the Luna rover. We're going to get in the new version of the Luna rover. We're going to go roving around the moon. We took the rover. We went to the moon. As you know, we're going to come back soon. We're going to rove to the left. We're going to rove to the right. As you know, we're going to rove all night. This new rover, it runs specifically, exclusively on Trumptricity. Elon Musk, he helped me design it just before we kicked his ass out of the White House. At any rate, I'm going to go ahead and go on a Luna night rove. We're going to go roving around the moon right now. When I get back, I'll tell you all about how it was. There you go. There you go. Good times. Doxological Thinker says the picture of him being arrested looks like an actual hyper-realistic mask. Yeah, you know what's funny is they could say that he was wearing a mask, and then they show that really fake one, and then this could be the actual hyper-realistic mask. Wouldn't that be some super fucking script writing, gaslighting ass shit that they would totally do? Yep, it is. Bro, totally. Put the guy in a hyper realistic mask and then have him fucking wear a shitty Halloween mask and then have the news show the shitty Halloween mask while calling it a hyper realistic mask. Let's go. Totally, bro.
Surrendered to cops late last night after an hour-long siege near his home in rural Minnesota.
All right. So got one more piece of evidence for you here. And it's the roommate being interviewed.
Extracting eyeballs. No, because he was on call for work and he'd always say, yeah, I need rest for work. So I'm sharp because he was extracting eyeballs. So gotta be sharp for that.
I remember him walking out of the house, or he walking out of the
No.
Was it unusual for him to come back at 7 p.m.? I mean, when you say...
Well, it depends on the shift, no, because he was working all kinds of hours. Didn't seem odd. No.
Did he give you any emotional message?
Every single breath seems like it's taxing and stressful. No, he liked Trump. It's like we're watching heart disease in action. We're watching the final stages of this guy's heart disease.
She said that he loves you besides the text messages or something like that. It seemed off.
Well, he said that he made some choices. And he said, you guys don't know anything about it. But, yeah.
Another big ass.
That's why he said he didn't have much time to live.
Another big ass. Do you mind if I take a picture of the text message?
Nah, I kind
Block out his number.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I kind of keep that private because I read it to people. And
he's going to tell you all the rest of the details, but he wants to keep that part private.
I don't know. I just got to get going. I have to.
Is his phone still ringing when you called?
No, it's
Go straight to voicemail?
yeah, just voicemail. He doesn't want me involved.
Yeah.
So he's not going to call me. He's not going to receive calls from me.
Can we at least see the text?
Well, everyone's taking pictures. I don't know why he sent it to me and a friend. So it wasn't just me. And I don't know if my friend would think about me sharing that with everybody. I mean, I read it out loud just so you guys could get a context of what I feel when I read it.
Yeah.
And
can you read it to us? We weren't here yesterday.
Yeah, I know. But I got to really get going.
Do you have a message for him?
What an awkward, fucking weird interview. Even by Christie's actor standards.
In case he's watching, he watches, you want to send him a message?
Yeah, tell him I love him. He's still my best friend. And I hope he doesn't kill anybody else. And I hope he surrenders himself for the sake of his family.
You must be disappointed?
Well, yeah. But, I don't want to see him killed. And, I'll still visit him in prison, I guess. That's what else are you going to do? But, I just don't want him to give up on life or kill himself.
Are you concerned he may have already done that?
Sure.
That he said in recent days he made choices that you don't know about. Tell us about those conversations, please.
Those weren't that was a text. Yeah.
So he didn't do anything in your interactions with him in the days before this happened that made you wonder?
No, that made me call the police.
He got 99 problems, and he's probably going to fucking die soon. He got 99 problems, and heart disease is one of those problems.
Yeah.
But any conversations you had in the last few days prior to this, nothing seems...
Well, like we said, we had our separate lives. I worked and he worked, and he was here, and sometimes he'd go down and we'd hang out, but we would never...
Rose Bell, yeah, she's getting all turned on by the hot and heavy breathing.
Sometimes politics would be on the TV, but he was never really anything that was in-depth conversation about. Just comments, And
just for the record, your name is David Crossing?
Yeah, with a C. Because this Minnesota, you guys don't know Carlson? Carlson. Carlson. Norwegian, Swedish. Yeah. But yeah.
Thank you. I don't want to take more of your time, so thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks for
I just want you guys to just not say crazy right winger gone nuts and you know, that was all he is. You know, it just bothers me. That's his legacy.
There you go, guys. A totally legitimate story. Anyone who thinks any of that is scripted or staged, you must be some cuckoo who watches Alex Jones and worships Jesus and shit. Cuckoo, cuckoo. All right. So there you go. Minnesota, bang, bang, pow, pow. Now, what would be the point to continue down that rabbit hole? Right? Like, why should I spend any more time looking into that? Right? When tomorrow there'll be some other fucking thing. You know, by next week there'll be, you know, 10 other things for me to talk about. So it's like, now you guys see that, like, once you go down that rabbit hole about that far, that's far enough. I've sufficiently proven that that was not what they said it was. Right? So no need to continue. Better save some energy for the next psyop. Yep. So the sermon of the suspect in the Congo, and then the roommate interview. Yeah. That's the end of that rabbit hole for me. Don't need to see any more. Spending any more time on it would pretty much be a fucking waste of time, because they're just going to do another one of these fucking events tomorrow or the next day. And then I got to go dive down that rabbit hole and figure out how that one was bullshit. All right. So Rose in chat sent me a video from some attacks overseas, and so I thought we'd switch gears and show that. Because I don't usually cover like war overseas, you know, war in Israel and Ukraine and shit. I don't usually talk a lot about it, but I did get a video sent to me by Rose that I did want to show, called Debris Falls in Iranian State TV Studio During Live Broadcasts as Israeli Strikes Continue. So this one coming in from one of my moderators. Check it out.
Iranian state TV has been hit by an Israeli strike in the last few hours. Dramatic pictures. It caused the channel to go off air altogether. And in the last half hour, Iran has condemned that attack as a war crime. It came shortly after Israel issued an evacuation order for a large part of the Iranian capital, Tehran, saying it had plans to strike military infrastructure that would endanger the life of civilians in the area. It is the fourth day now of missile strikes between the two countries, which started early on Friday when Israel launched a series of surprise attacks targeting nuclear sites and killing Iran's most senior military commanders. Now, Iran restricts access to the country for journalists, but BBC Verify has been using satellite imagery to confirm those attacks on both nuclear and military sites. So here are some of the locations where strikes have been carried out just in the last few days. This is a missile. It clearly shows damage to the roof. And this satellite image taken yesterday clearly shows damage to the roof.
There you have it, folks. Totally legit damage to the roof. Here's what it looked like before. Here's what it looks like after. That's 100% legitimate war footage. There's no way to fake something like that. As you can see, it's a crystal clear image. It's clearly been damaged. It's impossible to fake anything like this. 100% authentic.
And Isfahan is one of Iran's key nuclear sites. It was confirmed over the weekend that 4 critical buildings at this site were damaged, including the uranium conversion facility. On this,
yep, see, look, damage, very clear. Yeah, those places got fucked up.
Satellite image, you can now see visible damage to the buildings there. Well, the BBC is not allowed to broadcast from inside Iran, but our colleagues at BBC Persian have been keeping across the situation. Faham Gabadi has this report.
Iranian state TV came under attack during its live coverage.
That's the part that Rose wanted us to see, you guys. Watch. This is the main funny part of the video, and the whole reason that Rose sent it to me, and the whole reason I'm showing it to you. Watch.
Iranian state TV came under attack during its live coverage.
There you go, you guys. Doesn't get any more real than that. I'm Jaren, you guys. I'm always honest. Guys, if you think that was fake, you are retarded. Clearly, her studio got blown up, and she ran out of there. She was clearly scared. You guys, I'm Jaren. That footage is totally real. Guys like Jake the Asshole, who say that it looks fake, he's stupid. He's not honest. He's lying to you, you guys. I'm honest. I'm Jaren. I'm telling you, you guys, she got attacked. That's real. If you think that was fake, you are retarded. Yeah, that was at first when Rose sent it to me, it was kind of boring when the news clip started, and I'm like, what does she want me to show this for? And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, now I see why she sent this to me.
During its live coverage.
Oh no! All I need is a smoke machine to go off and then me just to run out of the room. And I can pretty much simulate the exact same thing. I'll just play like a crashing sound effect, jiggle around the camera, hit the smoke machine, and then fucking run out of the room real quick.
Iran's capital has been under heavy bombardment in recent days. This is Tehran only a few hours ago.
RJ Cranston says that looks like that stupid fake missile attack they got caught faking on the news with Scud missiles. So yeah, fake war footage is nothing new. They've been doing fake war footage for a long fucking time. So whenever you see those classic like black and white, war footage clips and stuff, you always have to think, okay, they could have staged shit back then too, right? So whenever they're like filming war and then showing it to people on TV, TV is a brainwashing tool. It was created to brainwash people. War is the most profitable thing that the elites can do, because they can have countries go to war and they can finance both sides of the war and get the countries to damn near bankrupt themselves, fighting each other, while the elites are the ones financing the whole thing with phony money. So if you look into all of the whole war racket and then how they show war to the people at home, every country is going to show visions of the war and make it out like all the other countries are the bad guys and that you're the good country. So no country is going to show any images and be like, here's us being evil. Here's videos of America decapitating a bunch of innocent people. No, instead here's videos of innocent Americans being decapitated by these evil Iranians or whatever. See, so they always will make the video to where it's that country who looks like they're the ones doing the honorable thing, the right thing. And then it's the other countries who they're fighting with who are the bad guys. See? So, of course, the footage that they show you, you always have to question it, even the old footage, right? So even like old nuke footage, go back and look at the old nuke footage. It's fake as fuck. So they can, for instance, take some dynamite, blow up this this model or this certain area, film it, and then they get this big mushroom cloud of this dynamite blowing up, and they go, here's where we nuked Japan. You see what I'm saying? So, or you firebomb a certain area, you know, with like thousands of fire bombs, and then say this was done with one nuke. So you can show, you know, all sorts of stuff on TV and convince the public that this war is a lot bigger and more deadly than it actually is. So you basically can use Hollywood special effects, movie effects, and then make it out like what's going on that TV screen is like the most deadly war anyone's ever seen. All right.
Many residents have tried to flee, especially after Israel asked people to evacuate areas near military facilities. But for many, escaping has proven impossible due to paralyzing traffic. One man inside Iran told us why he stayed behind.
I gave up because of the heavy traffic. On the other hand, our entire building has been evacuated, and someone needs to stay behind to look after the neighbors' belongings. Besides, smaller towns don't have the capacity to accommodate such a large population.
But it's not just Tehran. Strikes are hitting almost every corner of Iran.
Look, see? Look at the damage they did. Has to be real.
This is a hospital in the western city of Kermanshah.
There's no AI that can create this old shitty footage of a hospital that's messed up. AI doesn't have the capability to be this realistic.
Iran says Israel was behind the strike.
Israel did that, you guys.
A human rights group and local sources say a missile launcher was deployed nearby, and it may have been the real target. Either way, this is the reality of war. Civilians pay.
Look how grainy this footage is. This is like fucking 360p that they're showing us here, right? Bro, what's up? Why are you showing us such grainy shit?
The highest price. The historic city of Isfahan was struck multiple times yesterday. And in the religious city of Mashhad, the Israeli military says it hit refueling aircraft at the airport, some 2,300 kilometers from its borders. Longest range Israeli strike since the beginning of the conflict.
All right, so what are we looking at? Smoke plume. You don't see a missile come out of a plane, do you? We didn't see that. We did not see a plane shoot a missile. We just see a smoke plume. If I live in America, I don't know where the fuck in Iran or Israel or any of this stuff is actually happening. I just see a smoke plume, and then I'm told that that's like a bombing.
Fueling aircraft at the airport, some 2,300 kilometers from its borders. Longest range Israeli strike since the beginning of the conflict. Authorities in Iran say it's not only the
fire footage. I don't know if this is fucking 5 years old, 1 year old, or from yesterday. No way of knowing how old, or if this is AI, right? So this could be AI or it could be 5 years old.
Fighter jets. Israel also has boots on the grounds.
The most significant blows by the enemy are carried out by local spies.
Iranian police say they've raided a drone workshop in southern Tehran.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a drone workshop. There's no way you could ever fake a drone workshop.
They say Israeli agents assemble drones inside the country and then load them onto pickup trucks to launch them from there. Iranians say there are no sirens and no shelters. Many feel they're trapped in a war.
We don't have footage of a plane coming and dropping a bomb there, right? We just see another plume of smoke. We have no idea where this is, like what part of Iran that happened. We don't know.
He never chose after decades of repression. Parham Rabadi, BBC.
All right, that's a flood. I don't see what that has to do with the bombings. Going to show a flood.
News.
It bombed them so hard that it got flooded with water. See? Look at all the water from the bombing.
Well, here in Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the country is on the way to achieving victory, claiming that it has full aerial control over Tehran. Overnight, Iranian missiles penetrated Israel's air defenses, killing 8 people in attacks in Tel Aviv.
Said, seeing Iran's ballistic missiles as a separate existential threat. Last night, several slipped again through Israel's defenses. One
looks like a fireworks show, right? Doesn't that look like just like a glorified fireworks show? They're not blowing up buildings. They're shooting fucking fireworks.
Israel started this war to make Israelis safer.
I'm seeing things being shot up in the air. I'm not seeing buildings being blown up.
It said, seeing Iran's ballistic missiles as a separate
Always look at what they're showing you and just break it down logically. Are we seeing missiles blowing up buildings? Or are we seeing what looks like fireworks being shot in the air and not blowing up anything? Just be logical. Whenever you see this shit, just look at it and think about what they're really showing you. That's what I do. That's why I'm the best at this. I actually pay attention to what they're fucking showing me and point it out. Whereas a sheeple's like, oh my God, war. I feel sorry for those people. Where can I donate?
Existential threat. Last night, several slipped again through Israel's defenses.
Okay, didn't blow any buildings up. Looks like that was a bomb in the sky or a bang in the sky. Plenty of fireworks go boom in the sky.
One landing right in the heart of Tel Aviv. The speed of Israel's offensive.
This is aftermath, so we never get to see this actually happen from start to finish.
In Iran is fueled by the knowledge that this is what happens when a single missile lands. The bar Victoria opened here 25 years ago was a few meters from the impact site. Still in shock, she told me Israel needed to keep up its attacks. We need to finish this so it's final, she said, and not postpone it again for another few years. Are you scared? I asked her. Yes, very. At an airbase today, Israel's prime minister praised their achievements. The military said it had destroyed a third of Iran's missile launchers.
The Israeli Air Force is in control of the skies of Tehran. This is a change in the entire campaign. We are on the way to achieving both of our goals, the prevention of nuclear threat and the missile threat.
But how much damage can Israel do to Iran's nuclear program?
Apparently, there's a guy here who was sent by Bo Perkins, USFL biggest fan. He told me come to a live stream of this guy, but he's not talking about football. So here's the deal. Bo Perkins sends me super chats telling me about how he broke his roommate's TV and then is not friends with this Raiders fan anymore because they're idiot football fans who think that the NFL is real. I am the guy who breaks down NFL footage and proves that it's fake. Right now, it's not NFL season, so I'm not talking about NFL football. But when NFL season starts, I do a top 10 most rigged video every week where I show the top 10 most rigged and scripted plays, and I break them down in slow motion. And I prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, every single game in the NFL is scripted. All the players are in on it. All the coaches are in on it. Even the announcers are in on it. So, yeah, if you want to see the rigged NFL content, that will be coming back in September when the season starts. Doxological Thinker says, unlike sheeple, we don't need to see the fake footage to know where to donate. Yeah, dude, sheeple, you know, it's like their heart is like in the right place, you know, like they want to help. And if they have, extra money. They want to donate to a cause that makes them feel good, but they're so easily duped that the elites know all they have to do is just tug on their heartstrings a little bit, feed them some bullshit, and then give them a fucking address, and they'll send their money, to a fucking, for a total scam without questioning it at all, So yeah, you always got to look at how much money gets raised, for donations whenever there's one of these quote unquote tragedies in the community. The community comes together and donates all this money to these addresses, right? It's a racket like anything else. Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years says, it always sounds more real with a foreign accent delivering the propaganda. Oh, yeah, the BBC. Yeah. Israeli officials say that the hospitals were damaged after the bombs hit the ground. This is the aftermath of what it looks like after the area was bombed. Yep. Got to deliver the international news for the sheeple around the world to be duped into believing all this war is going on, all this chaos. Meanwhile, all that footage that we looked at, literally none of it could be real. How would you fucking know, Looks like Dcran4D got a super chat in that I missed just before this one. And he's referencing Kevin Arnold. That's funny. So Kevin Arnold here, I always mention the Wonder Years because it was a show that I used to watch when I was a little kid in the late 80s, early 90s with Fred Savage. And the character's name in the show was Kevin Arnold. So I always bring up the Wonder Years every time Kevin Arnold donates. It's like an ongoing joke. Dcran4D says, Kevin from the Wonder Years made it. Exactly. All right.
Some of it buried deep underground in secret sites.
We cannot delay it by more than 2 or 3 weeks. And to the best of my judgment, even the Americans cannot delay it for more than few months. And that's a sensitive issue. It means that if there is a determined, a serious intention to block Iran from turning into military nuclear power, the only way is to announce a full-scale war on the regime itself and carry it.
Yeah. Fucking A. Totally, bruh. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the last thing that I wanted to talk about, which is the No Kings protests follow-up. So apparently the people that set up No Kings are the group they want you to think set up No Kings. We all know the government set up the No Kings thing, but they want to make it look like it's being done by this left-wing group. So this left-wing group, the No Kings group, they did a live stream yesterday, and I didn't watch. I wanted to save it for tonight. So I haven't watched this, so we're just going to go ahead and skim through the stream. It's like an hour long. We're not going to watch all of it. We're just going to skim through it, and we're going to figure out together as a team what their next plan is. And I'll give you my thoughts on this No Kings shit as we're watching. But anyway. All right. So yeah, this was yesterday, was this No Kings shit stream.
Hey everybody. Y'all, we got 20,000 people on this Zoom call tonight. And that's not even including all the folks that are watching on live streams all over the interwebs. So if you're watching on the live streams, we see you. We appreciate you. Thanks for not regarding it robbery for being here with us tonight. We're going to get started with our speakers in just a minute or two. But in the meantime, while I'm setting the tone for this evening, I want you to go ahead, settle in, take your shoes off, get comfortable. I'm glad that you had an opportunity to enjoy the video coverage of No Kings that we just showed. I hope you saw yourselves. I want you to remember that this is an opportunity for you to invite your homies, tell your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, your kinfolk to come on and get into this live stream where we finally settle the question that lots of folks have been asking. What's next after the No Kings mass mobilization? I'm going to talk about that, and you're going to hear from speakers that are going to tell you what's next throughout the next hour. Let's start to get into it. Again, I want to thank you so much.
See the way they try and make it sound like this is some grassroots thing being organized by regular folks like you and me and your homies and your kinfolks. So yeah, if there was really a group, trying to set up protests across the country and go against the president, it would get shut down immediately. But being the government set this shit up, they have to try and convince the public that these are regular folks. So make no mistake about it, No Kings is the government. These people are tied back to the government, basically like government agents and shills who are going to pretend to be your homies and your kinfolk. And also, I want to point out the No Kings protests over the weekend on Saturday. A lot of them weren't that well attended. So there was quite a few of them where the crowds were small and people left after like an hour or two. And then it was mainly like a big nothing burger. So there wasn't that much rioting and violence. And so mainly people showed up, chanted, walked around, held their signs up, honked their horns, and then they left. So basically it was a nothing burger, a big giant nothing burger. And now it seems like they want to plan another nothing burger. So I'm starting to think, you guys, possibly the plan is to get a bunch of people to show up, realize it's a waste of time, and then they just won't protest anymore. It could be just like that easy. Have them show up, have them walk around the block, stand around, wave their signs. They get bored. They get hungry. They go home. And then they realize they accomplished nothing and that they wasted their time. So if you can get the sheeple to realize that protesting doesn't accomplish anything, then they'll just not protest anymore and they'll just stay home. The last few protests on both sides have been total waste of time, nothing burgers. They didn't even have any major psyop go down. They just wasted everyone's time. Remember last year, the truckers were going to do something. All the right-winger truckers are going to get together. And it turned out to just be some fucking Trump rally. Nothing burger. Remember, the truckers were going to band together and they were going to block off, Washington, D.C. and they were going to do this or that or the other. And then all they did was just have a Trump rally and nothing fucking happened. So I think they'll get both sides to show up, put in their time and energy to show up to this shit, realize it's a waste of time, and then people will just decide on their own accord not to protest. And those that do want to show up and protest, you give them a nice, boring-ass event where nothing's going to be accomplished to waste their time.
Hour. Let's start to get into it. Again, I want to thank you so much for being here. I think we've got every nook and cranny of this country from the hoods to the hollers covered on the call tonight. Thank you all.
All right. Doxological Thinker says, maybe the guy's roommate was breathing so heavily because of all the nothing burgers. Good one. Mixing my nothing burger in with the fat guy from the last thing I was talking about. Cool. I like it. Good one. All right. Another super chat coming in from Zach W. Says, can you talk about football for USFL biggest fan for a few minutes? Well, I already told them that come NFL season, I do the top 10 most rigged plays. There's no football going on right now, so there's not a lot that I can really tell them, but I already told them that all the games are fake and scripted. All the players are in on it. It's all about beating sports gamblers. So you don't even have to know anything about football, and you can predict who's going to win just about as good as somebody who thinks they know everything about football. So it's all about beating the sports gamblers, and sports gambling is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they're not going to let billions of dollars go to chance. So whenever billions of dollars are on the line, you better believe that the outcomes of those games are going to be scripted. And so they'll throw the public a bone every once in a while and let the public think that they know which team's going to win because they're sports fans who watch a lot of football. And then they'll have a series of games where they totally beat their ass and have all the underdogs win. So there's those weeks where every underdog wins inexplicably. And you're left wondering, how in the hell did the Raiders just beat the Ravens in Baltimore? That's because when everybody dumps their money on the big favorite, that's when you see the upset. That's why they call it an upset, because a bunch of people bet their money on the favorite. So they rigged the game to have the shittier team win who wasn't supposed to win. And it's very upsetting when that happens. That's why they call it an upset. And that's why every year the NFL is filled with tons of upsets. And it's hard to figure out who's really good and who really sucks. Because on any given Sunday, the sucky team can beat the good team. Any given Sunday. And the reason that is because there's lots of money on the line. And the games aren't real. Because if the games were real, the good teams would kick the shit out of the bad teams. And anyone who knew anything about football would win lots of money. And Vegas would go broke taking bets on games. So they can't have that happen. So they rig all the games. And that's with every sport, not just the NFL. There you go. That should be sufficient so that I don't bore all the non-sports fans here. Looks like I missed one from D. Cran. He slipped one in real quick. Almost missed it. I'll go back and get it. Decran says her right eyebrow is missing. It's AI fake. Oh, possibly. Or this could be some weird like symbolism type deal, you know, like somebody in their little shill club that has this certain look, you know, I don't know.
You want to, you can click the CC button at the bottom of your screen. Again, if you want to see the closed captioning, you can just go down, press the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom or YouTube screen, and you will see the captions. Second, and the question that I always get the most, I'm already getting text messages asking me about it. I'm sure if I checked my email today, I would see emails asking about it. This call is being recorded. We are recording this call for heretofore, for the foreseeable future. You can imagine that if it is a mass call, we will likely record it. We are recording this one this evening, and you're going to receive a follow-up email with this recording, as well as with all of the links to the calls to action, and you'll get information that all of the speakers are sharing tonight via email. So things undone that we will do together. So much solidarity to continue to live into. We also don't have to ignore that some of us came because we felt alone, we felt hopeless, we felt powerless. Some of us came even though it was scary, and we don't have to ignore our fear. Being brave and courageous does not mean we're not scared. But this weekend was also so much more than fear. As you're going to hear about shortly, this was an incredible day of solidarity.
Like, is this the type of person that you want to get behind in battle? Like, this is the type of person you want to lead you? Imagine the type of individual you would have to be like, I want this lady to lead me. I want to do what this lady's talking about. what she's talking about resonates with me. I want to get involved. Imagine how fucking brainwashed you'd have to be to want to get involved with this.
Strategic nonviolent protests. That said, we also know that this weekend was not without its losses. In particular, we want to take a moment to acknowledge and mourn the loss of Arthur Balassa Alou, who was shot in Salt Lake City. The entire No Kings Coalition was completely devastated to hear of this news.
There was another bang, pow, pow deal in Utah. I don't really feel like covering that one tonight because we already covered a bunch. But there was another situation in Utah during these No Kings deals. And so the fact that they're pretending like it's totally legit just lets you know that they're going along with the mainstream story, the mainstream narrative. If they were truly against the government, they would be talking about how the government stages events like that.
And our hearts go out to Office family, to Office friends, to every single one of us impacted by this tragedy. In Salt Lake City, a day of joyous protest ended with senseless violence. The Constitution is supposed to afford us the right to peacefully assemble, and this shooting does not take away that inherent right. It only strengthens our resolve to rise together with one another in solidarity against harm to any and every single one of us.
To this, I can't help but just get fired up every time you are leading a call. It's like you channel the energy from all over the country. And God, I mean, looking at the emojis and people talking about where they're coming from, you just get this sense of how far afield everybody is, every nook
and of course, this white guy who has an I have friends everywhere shirt with this weird little symbol here. This is her right-hand man. Yeah, these two definitely look like they're on the same team for sure, right? These are the people who are going to lead you into battle and overthrow those kings. Are you tired of tyranny? You tired of kings? Follow this lady and this dude. They're going to lead you to the promised land.
cranny of this country was coming together this weekend. I'm going to kind of try to go briefly because I get to turn it over to some incredible group leaders. So some context, y'all, a little reminder of how we got to where we are right now. When we heard Trump was planning his absolutely pathetic birthday military parade to waste $100 million of our dollars, our taxpayer dollars, on this ridiculous authoritarian theatrical shambolic event. Look, that was ridiculous, but it was worse than ridiculous. It was dangerous, straight out of the authoritarian playbook. This is the kind of thing you expect to see in a North Korea and in China operations like the Contrarian and Midas Touch. It is our duty to celebrate. This work is hard.
But we decided to go to the Capitol and to the March start site so that we could start setting up, because we just didn't have enough information at that point to make any big decisions. Unfortunately, quickly we found out that Melissa Hartman, who had at one time been the Speaker of the House, and we just, all but 3 people showed up and spoke. And at the end of the day, it was just actually really beautiful. Rebecca?
Yep, I'm ready. Barbara Arnwine and Daryl coming up that we should be preparing for is an example of how we can block and build at the same time. Miss Barbara and Daryl, I will toss it to you.
Thank you, Ashley. And listen, we want to say to everybody who's on this call, to everyone across the country, congratulations. Saturday was just magnificent. That's all we can say. People showed up, they showed out, they did everything that was necessary, and the world heard you. If anybody thinks that we're being silent here in the U.S., they certainly.
Yo, we showed up, we showed out, we was kangs. We let them tyrants know that we ain't gonna have no kangs, y'all. This the USA. We don't do kangs in the USA. We showed up, y'all, and we let them know we ain't gonna be pushed around, know what I'm saying? So we need to do something better next time. We need to step it up, y'all.
We don't know that we are loud right now. We're roaring in these streets. We're not going to stop. And that's what we want to talk about is what's next. You know, on Saturday, I had the joy of standing there in Chicago at Daley Plaza and addressing those tens of thousands of people who came out and were not to be deterred. And I wore my No Kings button and my Make Good Trouble John Lewis button, because it's
Girl, I was out there marching and I had on my button and I was wearing my button with pride. And then I got tired, so then I went home. But next month, I want to go out and I want to march again, girl. And I'm going to wear my button and you should wear your button too.
It's a united front. It's a united fight. And we all are in it. And it was a pleasure to march with Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, who was in his wheelchair, everybody, at 84, with fighting the disease that he's fighting. But he was out there in those streets and people loved it because we never stop. We keep on fighting. So where do we go from here?
This no king thing, this is for real. And I'm sick of all y'all white people getting involved. Y'all don't even know what you really getting involved in. You white people, it's like you just trying to get brownie points from the Mexicans and from us black folks. Y'all don't even seem to really care what's going on. Y'all white people don't know anything about the real issue. Y'all, they be kidnapping illegal immigrants who are innocent. And I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Wanda Sykes ain't got time for no motherfucking black people giving sympathy to no motherfucking white people who ain't got none.
It's a famous line from a Dr. King speech. And where we go from here is July the 17th. Good trouble. Good trouble. We're going to make good trouble because good trouble lives on. And
y'all, I fucking predicted this in my I think my last live stream. I told you that they won't do it 2 weekends in a row because people won't show up 2 weekends in a row. But if they plan something for next month, they could probably get people to show up again next month. I swear I said that. Hopefully some of you remember. Here they are promoting a fucking event for next month.
From here is July the 17th.
Where we go from here is July the 17th. An event next month, just like I told you they'd probably do. They can't do it two weekends in a row because people don't want to give up 2 weekends in a row for this shit. But if you give them a month, maybe you convince other people who didn't show up last time to show up this next time, you see? Maybe you can convince some of them people who showed up last time to come out again.
Good trouble. Good trouble. We're going to...
Good trouble. Good trouble. Yo, I don't know about you white folks, but black folks, we gonna start good trouble. And good trouble, it's not like what you white folks do. Y'all be causing bad trouble. Black people, all we want to do is cause good trouble.
Make good trouble because good trouble lives on. And we will not stop until we win this fight. No kings, no tyrants, no despots, and we got to always have good trouble. So we are determined that on July 17th, we're asking all of you to turn out, each and every one of you. Host events in your city. Go to, our new...
Show up and waste your time for another nothing burger event. See, y'all? I told you they're going to try and get everybody to come out again and do the same shit they just did that didn't do anything. So there's 2 ways they can do this. Here's the 2 things that can happen. A, they can set up some major psyop where like a group of Trump supporters show up and there's like a major clash, and violence breaks out. Or total nothing burger the second time around that draws less people. And then it just makes all those libs feel like it's not worth it to protest. Just like they did to all the right-wingers with their trucker protests that did nothing and wasted everyone's time. So they got both sides wasting their time when they show up to protest. So those are my 2 thoughts. They'll either turn it into a psychological operation by having Trump supporters clash with the No Kings in one of the major cities, So like LA, New York, Phoenix, one of like the major cities where they have one of their rallies, you could see like Trump supporters show up and have like a little staged battle. Or this one gets like only half as many people as the last one and it fucking dies a miserable death. And then all the right wingers make fun of how it was a big flop. And then all the lefties feel dejected and defeated and then decide that they're not going to protest anything anymore because it's just not worth it. Kill the lefties' urge to protest. Yeah, what's the point of protesting if they just don't work at all? See, whole lot of things they can be doing here. So we shall see. We'll keep our eye on the date, July 17th, and we'll check back on this like the day before, see what they're saying, what they're planning, see what sort of attention the media's giving it, and then we'll make another prediction from there. So it looks like they're going to try and do another one of them no kings dealy. All right, well, so there you go, y'all. We covered a lot of shit tonight. Jen No Fear says, thanks for the laughs, Jake. Thank you, Jen No Fear. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I talked about all the topics that I wanted to cover tonight. So I started the show with the Mets game. They were flying the pride flag at a Mets game. So I talked about that first. I talked about the Minnesota bang, bang, pow, pow incident. I showed a funny clip from a studio being bombed in Israel. No Kings follow-up. So there you go. 4 different things, all cram-packed into a lovely Truther Tuesday night. So before you guys get bored of me, I think this would be a good time to go ahead and wrap it up. And hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Maybe I'll do another stream in a few more days or so. And the big announcement, I'm doing memberships now. I'm going to start doing membership-only streams like probably twice a month or so. Only members will be allowed to interact on those certain streams. I'm still going to be doing these regular streams where anyone can interact. So Truther Tuesdays will remain the same, but I'm going to do probably like 2 members-only streams per month, where it's only members only, and we just goof off and talk about whatever you guys want. And I'll do open panel and bring people on the channel and all that stuff. So it'll basically be like a intimate hangout with your favorite comedian / truther, and should be fun. So I'm looking forward to that. So if you haven't signed up for your membership yet, you want to go ahead and click the join button and sign up. It's only $2. And my football picks coming back in September are going to be done through the membership as well. So there you have it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on Truther Tuesday. I had a good time tonight. Hope you guys did too. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet on your way out, do your boy a big favor and smack the thumbs up. And until next time, this is the funniest man in the world, the greatest truther ever known, telling you thank you for being part of this wonderful broadcast. Thank you for joining in on the greatest show on the face of the earth. Thank you for all of your messages, all of your super chats, all your donations. I love you guys. You are the best audience in the world. And I will see all of you in the next video or super chat. Much love, peace out, and good night.